This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. Before we get to the news, a word about today's sponsor. Are you constantly looking for ways to bring the magic of the parks back into your home long after your vacation's over? Maybe you check ride wait times from home, you watch resort TV, or listen to park music on repeat. Well, WaitSigns.com just released their brand new wait time display, which I'm going to pull over here, which recreates the nostalgia of the Disney Resort Hotel experience in your own home. When you turn on the device, you're greeted by a personalized welcome message as if you were checking in, and you then tap over to your very own resort channel, which displays the park hours and special event times as they actually are for that day. Well, we're set to California. I think I got to switch. Back to Florida. I'm back here now. Well, that's wait times. Resort. Let's go to resort. Trying my best here. Oh, I got to close out of that. There we go. Orlando. And there we go. We're home again. And just like the fully working wait time signs we showed you last year, these wait time displays show the actual live wait times if we switch over to that, which you just saw for a moment. You can even park hop on the monorail like you just saw to see even more wait times with just a tap. And there's also a fully customized vacation countdown with fireworks to get you excited for your next trip. I think this counts down to some imaginary vacation of ours. I travel too much to keep this up to date. But yeah, 120, I don't know where I'm going in 123 days, but perhaps the coolest feature is the virtual terrace that displays an actual live stream of the Orlando skyline where you can watch EPCOT and Magic Kingdom fireworks in real time. It's like having your own window out onto the city. And these are a great gift for the Disney Parks fan in your life who owns everything like me. So head on over to waitsigns.com and use code NEWS15 for 15% off your order today. I'll change this back to something more interesting while we do the news, or Orlando. There we go. Gertie, watch that. Here now, the news for October 28, 2024. Construction has begun beyond Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, signaling the start of at least one of the multiple of large projects on the horizon for the area. In mid-October, Disney announced that Big Thunder Mountain Railroad would be closing in January of next year and will remain closed for at least a year for refurbishment. The news came after construction permits were filed, signaling the start of the Beyond Big Thunder project. At D23 back in August, Chairman Josh D'Amaro announced that a Disney Villains Land would be coming to the Magic Kingdom as part of its largest expansion ever. Now in the area near Big Thunder Mountain that could be impacted by both of these projects, construction equipment has arrived. Obviously, this is also connected to cars. It's kind of all one project, right? It's all bordering each other. It's all connected, and this work will facilitate all of the projects. While in the attractions queue, we noticed that a green scrim had been added behind one of the geysers near an old rusted windmill. And while the scrim is certainly in place to hide construction equipment, we still noticed a yellow excavator in the area. From higher up, we could see that the excavator had already cleared some of the land behind the scrim and was now working near a small building. In addition to the Big Thunder Mountain refurbishment and the opening of Villains Land, of course, again, cars will take over the adjacent Tom Sawyer Island and the Rivers of America. Of course, we here at WDWNT will track the construction on a daily basis to bring you the latest, so stay tuned. The refurbished EPCOT Disney Vacation Club Lounge soft opened on Saturday. It's scheduled to officially open later this week. The refurbished and renamed DVC Lounge at EPCOT is finally open to members. Disney Vacation Club Imaginatrium, a member lounge, closed for a refurbishment under its old name back in June. It was originally scheduled to reopen on July 14th. However, that date came and went. It's now over 3 months later, but the lounge finally is open once more. Disney Vacation Club Imaginatrium will officially open on Tuesday, October 29th. During its soft opening, the lounge is operating on an approximate schedule of 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. When it officially opens, the lounge will operate daily from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. A valid membership card and photo ID are required to access the lounge, and the name on the ID and the membership card must match. A member could bring up to 4 guests with them. Hopefully one of them will be me, so we can see what happened in there. The footprints of the beloved Figment, which have been missing since August, have returned to EPCOT. Since mid-August, the walls that lead from the exit of Journey to Imagination with Figment to the Imageworks have been solid purple. Now guests can celebrate the return of Figment's footprints as they've been repainted on the wall once more. The footprints look exactly as they did before, but they're just repainted. For years, rumors have circulated that Journey into Imagination with Figment could be getting a reimagining. However, while minor updates and changes have occurred over the years, the attraction still hasn't undergone any major changes. But every time something like this happens, we all get excited and or nervous. But once again, just this is all connected to the Imaginatrium thing. This is all a number of cosmetic upgrades I'm sure that Vacation Club is paying for and not EPCOT. So I know outside they're working on new signage. They repaved a bunch of the pavement outside of the pavilion. There are a lot of things related to this overhaul, this reimagining of the lounge. Some money was sprinkled by DVC on some of the rest of the pavilion, which is nice to see. I mean, EPCOT themselves should pay for it, but this is kind of how this all works is, you know, if you're a manager of a certain division, you just try to pawn your expenses off on someone else until someone's finally willing to do it. Nearly 2 months after the start of the 2024 EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival, the Australia booth is finally open. The festival began on August 29th, and while all the booths opened as usual, the Australia booth was operating out of a tent. In mid-October, we reported that Australia had been moved to the land pavilion due to the hurricanes that came into the area. But now with just under a month left in the festival, the Australia booth has finally opened in its new booth in its new location. Of course, the festival ends on November 23rd, so they're not going to get a whole lot of use out of this, but I guess better late than never. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT, and their team will design your next magical vacation from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort, where I just came from, to the Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, and more. They're also able to book unforgettable VIP tours where you and your group can experience the ultimate park day. The best part is their concierge services are 100%. There's no live crowd today. Hopefully at home you all yelled free, because they are. So book today. Walt Disney Imagineering has filed a new permit for Pueblo Esperanza, the Tropical Americas expansion coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom. This new filing includes a site demolition plan. Filed with the South Florida Water Management District, this new permit largely goes over infrastructure modifications to support the retheming of DinoLand into Pueblo Esperanza. Named Project Row in the filings, the Tropical Americas expansion will include new attractions themed to Indiana Jones and Encanto, as well as a Disney Animals-themed wood-carved carousel. The land will open with its 2 signature attractions in 2027. Portions of the full documentation also include details regarding stormwater management and other environmental impacts. And as previously announced, the transformation of the land will be done in phases, with portions closing in January 12th, this including Triceratops Spin, Fossil Fun Games, and Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures. Dinosaur, the Boneyard, Restaurantosaurus, Dinobite Snacks, and Trilobites will remain open for now. Comparing the plans to the plans you'll get now to Google Earth, the blue color represents existing structures, and from left to right demonstrates the proposed demolition changes making way for the land's new experiences. This includes the demolition of Triceratops Spin, which does not make it to the post-development graphic you're looking at now. The Indiana Jones attraction, of course, is replacing Dinosaur. It appears that the Encanto attraction will be on the upper right-hand side. What's interesting is Encanto is very large. So where Triceratops Spin is, it looks like it's going to be the entrance at the beginning of the queue, and then the queue will go over what is currently the center road in Dino-Rama, and then the Encanto attraction will begin in earnest where Primeval Whirl was, but it will go far beyond. So this is indeed, I know when they just reskin an area, we think, oh, it's just an overlay. Expansion is apropos here, because as you can see, we are going into a lot of unused land for this Encanto ride, which will be quite sizable. Meanwhile, Restaurantosaurus is located on the far left side of the map. The former area of Chester and Hester's Dino-Rama, just off center. In the left of the image is taken over again by the Encanto footprint. And of course, Primeval Whirl has been gone for quite a while. That closed officially in 2020. They decided to close it with the COVID closure. It was seasonal at that time. And then it was demolished in 2021. On a recent visit to Animal Kingdom, we discovered that some of the former Chester and Hester's Dino-Rama plush prizes, which were replaced back in 2020, have returned. The Fossil Fun games are set to close again in January, but before they go extinct, Disney brought back some of the lingering former prizes. At Fossil Fueler and Wackapachycephalosaur, guests can once again win a small prize of a dinosaur wearing red boxing gloves. They come in green, pink, and blue. These look generic, and they're kind of meant to. These are actually custom made and were custom made for these games. So this is the one that's the most apparent because it's absolutely the dinosaur in the boxing gloves. That's part of the motif of the game. But all of these prizes, believe it or not, these were not ordered out of a catalog. Disney actually custom ordered these to fit the theme of the area. They fit too well because everyone just assumed they bought generic plush. Meanwhile, at Brontoscore, guests can win a blue, pink, or green Stegosaurus, and another small prize option for this game is the pink Brontosaurus. The Stegosaurus plush prizes are also available at Comet Crasher. The final prize is a saber-toothed tiger available at Mammoth Marathon. The prize also comes in pink, blue, and green, and all these prizes are awarded to guests who earn small prizes for their victories. I am sad it didn't come back. They actually, I believe they made the Mammoth at one point with the headband. I don't think I ever got that one. I'm very sad because Mammoth Marathon is my favorite, but I like the Mammoth with the headband. So we don't know how long these are going to last. They obviously, for the larger prizes and other prizes, still have the prizes that were introduced in September of 2020 when the games reopened, those being the Dino Institute specific plush, so and Dinorama specific plush. So you can still get those. You're running out of time. And I wouldn't wait too long because I think the lines for these games are only going to get worse as we get closer to the closing. Meanwhile, just across the way, Christmas lights have started to go up in DinoLand, USA as the land prepares for its final holiday celebration. Christmas lights have been added to the Brontosaurus fossil in the soon-to-be-extinct land, and the lights stretch all around the fossil above the Donald's Dino Bash sign. This, of course, is the Olden Gate Bridge. The tail of the dinosaur, which is held up by an elaborate system of pulleys, at least in story, is also completely wrapped in Christmas lights. We expect a Santa hat will go on the top eventually. They're just getting started with all this. To mark the final Christmas in DinoLand, guests can meet Santa Claus at Restaurantosaurus during the all-new 75th Annual Dino Institute Holiday Party. Santa will be greeting on the patio of the restaurant from November 12th through December 24th. The Stitch Vampire Popcorn Bucket, which was previously available during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, is now available at Disney's Animal Kingdom. We found it at multiple popcorn carts throughout the theme park, including the ones by Creature Comforts and It's Tough to Be a Bug. The Stitch Vampire Popcorn Bucket is $26.50. A new Hawaiian Islands-inspired shoe brand, OluKai, is set to open a new shop in Disney Springs, taking over the former Sanuk location. According to WDW Magic, OluKai will move into the space previously occupied by Sanuk, which closed in August of 2024 after nearly 10 years of operation. One of the original tenants of the landing at Disney Springs, in fact. This location will mark the brand's first retail space outside of Hawaii or California. An opening date for the new store has not yet been announced. The price of resort refillable mugs has increased at hotels around the Walt Disney World Resort. We discovered that resort refillable mugs now cost $22.99 plus tax. Mugs previously cost $21.99. That's a price increase of 4.5%. This is the first time the mugs have increased in price since 2022. The Madame Leota Tiki mug, just released at Disneyland Resort over the weekend, is making its way to Trader Sam's Grotto. In fact, it already did today. Guests can get the mug served with either an alcoholic or non-alcoholic option. The corruptible mortal state is alcoholic, and a dismaying observations is non-alcoholic. This version of the mug is more of a pale iridescent color and comes on a wood base. Corruptible mortal state includes forged gin, Domaine Saint Michel Brut, blue curacao, passion fruit, and lemon juices. It comes garnished with lime and cherry. The dismaying observations features Liar's Pink London non-alcoholic spirit, blue curacao, Minute Maid passion fruit orange guava juice, and lemon juice topped with ginger beer. There is a purchase limit of 2 mugs per person per transaction. The mug will only be available while supplies last. Blue Ribbon Corn Dogs has unveiled its newest menu item, the giant mozzarella stick. It's only available for a limited time, so we raced over to try it for ourselves. The giant mozzarella stick is available, again, limited time, but they haven't set an end date just yet. The price is $15.50. It's served with a side of marinara sauce and a bag of Lay's chips. You can read the review at WDWNT.com or watch Nana on our social media have the time of her life eating this giant mozzarella stick by herself. Did you know there's a way you could save big at Disney Deluxe Resorts? Well, today's show is brought to you by DVC Rental Store, a great way for you to plan a luxury Disney vacation on a modest budget. You don't need to sign up for a full DVC contract, but instead they'll allow you to rent the points you need for a magical stay. It's the best way to stay deluxe at a fraction of the cost. And now, thanks to their lowest price guaranteed offer, you'll always have the best price on the market. The rooms are discounted up to 75% off and have the largest member inventory for points, so there's lots to choose from. You can search their availability for free right now, which is not something all rental companies offer. But if you do choose to book, they have a great cancellation policy and a low down payment. DVC Rental Store is the #1 DVC rental company in the United States, one we've used many times. In fact, it's one we used in the last week. We booked our room for the Grand Floridian tomorrow with them. And we're doing that so we could test out Lightning Lane Premier Pass on Wednesday. You need to be a guest of a certain resort. So again, we use it even when they weren't a sponsor. We use them now. It really is a great way to get it done at a fraction of the cost. The Disneyland Railroad has reopened with updated Bayou country narration, including a reference to Tiana's Bayou adventure. As guests pass through Bayou country, formerly Critter country, this clip is what they'll hear.
We're now entering the Bayou, home to Tiana's Bayou adventure. Take a sneak peek at the big party Princess Tiana is throwing, where the welcome is warm, the music is hot, and the company is sweet as honey. And when it comes to sweetness, the inhabitants of the land we're passing over are the bee's knees. Here in Bayou country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Louis the alligator, and other beloved critters on their fun-filled adventures. As we steam past Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree, we're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see.
Meanwhile, between Main Street, U.S.A. and New Orleans Square, a panther figure has been moved back to its rock. Since early 2018, the panther was off the rock and behind a tree, allegedly since guests were trying to touch it. Lending prudence to this fact is the panther is still pretty far back on the rock, further back than it was back in 2017. And between New Orleans Square and Toontown is a new trestle bridge over the rivers of America. The entire span of track has been replaced between Toontown and Tomorrowland. There's also new greenery under the monorail track. The final updates are in the Primeval World diorama on the last leg to Main Street. Lighting and projections in the tunnel were upgraded, and other effects received some TLC. The rubber face of the Brontosaurus has been fixed, had a gash in its jaw before, and the spitting effect has also been restored. According to a lead cast member, this was the first of 4 3-month refurbishments planned for the railroad in the next year and a half. During these refurbishments, the entire track will be replaced. Of course, on Friday, the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree officially opened at Disneyland, and we were there to check it out over the weekend. We have a full video tour of the establishment right here on YouTube, where you can appreciate all the fantastic Country Bear art, as well as some of the propping, including Teddy Barra's swing. I guess she swings in for some ribs every so often. We also have a video review here where Arlo and I tried every single item on the brand new menu. Check it out right here on the channel. While we're mentioning reviews here on the channel, it's worth mentioning, obviously last week was the opening of the Cake Bake Shop, both the bakery and the restaurant. We have a review of 3 cakes and 1 pie in a separate video here on the channel, and as well, over the weekend, our video went up of our lunch/dinner review of the restaurant side. So be sure to check those out, please. We appreciate it. Rumors indicate that the Spider-Man Stuntronic show will soon end at Disney California Adventure Park. The Spider-Man Stuntronic show, which includes a robotic Spider-Man and live performer, is performed daily at Disney California Adventure. However, it's reportedly closing sometime in November. As of now, the character meet and greet below the show is expected to still be offered. But our sources indicate that, ironically, Disneyland Forward is one of the reasons, at least, that Disney is giving for the cut. They claim this is a budgetary need in anticipation of the spending that is to come. Numerous sources have told us that performers were told over the weekend of the show's impending end, though nothing again has officially been said by Disney just yet. As always, nothing is confirmed until it is announced. The closure of the Spider-Man Stuntronic show will mark the end of one of the highlights of a mostly negatively received land. The closure will also mark the second show cut from Avengers Campus after Doctor Strange Mysteries of the Mystic Arts ended earlier this year. The closure comes, of course, as Avengers Campus prepares to become home to 2 new rides, which would be Stark Flight Lab and Avengers Infinity Defense. Some things I want to say here. Some people were being real defensive about this, saying, oh, it's probably to accommodate construction. I don't think so. Where they're building those two, so the red car trolley, while I don't agree with getting rid of the red car trolley as a ride, it is fully understandable that obviously where they're building those 2 rides is where the barn is. So the trolley will have to close if they want to build those rides. As for this show, that is set so far back up against that walkway to Cars Land that it is completely unrelated to whatever is going on here. This just seems to be another budgetary thing. And maybe all of this is related to Disneyland Forward. Maybe the entertainment department is where Disney is making a lot of cuts to clear some room for what they're about to spend. But again, I think this is a terrible decision, right? What we've seen budget cut-wise in entertainment at Disneyland Resort is not good. And we've heard some other things I can't talk about just yet, but apparently there's way more still on the horizon. This is a shame. Entertainment is so important, and Disneyland was one of the places. At Disney World, we have often neglected entertainment. When it comes towards the end of the fiscal year, where it seems there's always room to cut is entertainment. Walt Disney World famously, at the end of September every year, you'll see entertainment acts go away. This was the first year you didn't see that, and you actually saw acts added as they did at Animal Kingdom in Burudika and the Sitar Act. And then, of course, as I keep saying this, but we have those 3 new acts coming for the Christmas season or holiday season at Hollywood Studios. So we're seeing things go, and a night parade's coming, and there are a lot of good signs for the entertainment department at Walt Disney World. And at Disneyland, it is the opposite right now. Things are bad. They have lost a lot, and they keep losing. And this is, for me, this was the only highlight of Avengers Campus. I think it is absolutely my least favorite land in any Disney park in the world. I can't think of a land I dislike more. I like Toy Story Land a whole hell of a lot more than I like this thing. This was the highlight. This was the coolest thing. It still packs a crowd. Without this, it's really going to feel lifeless. That terrible, weird side corridor, it's not a well laid out land either, is now going to be particularly lifeless. See, I know crowd flow through there wasn't always great when the show was running, but it was always a highlight for people if you'd never seen it. So if you had never seen it, that's a real shame. So here's the thing. If Disneyland ain't going to use it, I know some of my friends at Disneyland Paris have got to be watching, and I know I've heard rumors that the roof could accommodate it in Paris. So if Paris wanted to pay to have it shipped to Walt Disney Studios Paris, I think that'd be great. I think that would be a tremendous addition there. Someone should have this. Or if not, Walt Disney World should find a way to use it. This thing should exist. The R&D people at Walt Disney Imagineering are, I think, the heart and soul, because so much of what has made Walt Disney Imagineering what it is what they've invented. It's not just the storytelling. It's also inventing new technologies. And I always mess up this quote, but is it new technology is often indiscernible from magic, right? And so in a company where you're creating magic, the best way to create real magic for people is to show them something they've never seen before that they can't even imagine how that's possible. And the Spider-Man Stuntronic was one of those things. These R&D guys killed it. It was amazing. This needs to go somewhere. If Disneyland Resort isn't going to appreciate it, someone else should. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. A special shout out to all our WIGS members watching who make this show happen every week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying enjoy the rest of your today. Have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.